official increase in the salary, daily allowance, pension and additional pension of MPs and former MPs. This increase will come into effect from 1st April 2023. Monthly salary of MPs increased from Rs 1 lakh to Rs 1,24,000. Global Energy Review 2025 report released by the International Energy Agency. Extreme weather events affected energy demand. A global increase of 300 million tons of carbon dioxide occurred. World Tuberculosis Day celebrated on 24th March. 79 million lives saved globally through efforts since 2000. India has 26% of the world's TB patients. India-Africa Naval Exercise announced. ICMA named the exercise. 10 African countries will participate. Saraswati Samman 2024 announced. Sadhu Bhadresh Das to be awarded. This award is given by the KK Birla Foundation. Recently, the central government has officially announced an increase in the salary, daily allowances, pension and additional pension for members of parliament and former MPs. This increase will be effective from 1st April 2023. It is noteworthy that this change has been made under the powers conferred by the Salary, Allowances and Pension of Members of Parliament Act 1954. This increase is based on the Cost Inflation Index mentioned in the Income Tax Act 1961. Under the increase, the monthly salary of MPs has been raised from Rs 1 lakh to Rs 1,24,000. The daily allowance has been increased from Rs 2,000 to Rs 2,500. Additionally, the pension of former MPs has been raised from 25,000 rupees per month to Rs 31,000 per month. It is noteworthy that the proposal for an increase in MPs' salaries is prepared by the Ministry of Finance. An amendment bill related to this is introduced in the Parliament. When the President approves this bill, it is turned into an act. After that, the government implements it by issuing a notification. Previously, the Ministry of Finance was authorized to revise MPs' salaries and allowances from time to time. However, after an amendment in 2020, revisions to MPs' salaries are now made by Parliament itself. According to recent news, India is experiencing an early heat wave in March 2025. Regions like Delhi, Karnataka, Goa and Jharkhand are under heat wave alerts. It is worth mentioning that a heat wave is a period in which an area experiences unusually high temperatures compared to the normal expected temperatures for that region. Therefore, the temperature at which a heat wave is declared varies from place to place based on the region's climatology. The IMD declares a heat wave when the maximum temperature in the plains exceeds 40 degrees Celsius, 37 degrees Celsius in coastal areas, and 30 degrees in hilly areas. It is noteworthy that factors such as high humidity, strong wind speeds, and the duration of heat waves amplify the impact of the heat waves. The primary seasonal event causing the heat wave in early summer is an anticyclonic storm over the Arabian Sea. The anticyclonic storm draws winds from the north-northwest towards coastal areas, resulting in early summer heat waves. It is significant to note that an unusually dry winter and the weak La Niña have disrupted the weather, causing more heat than usual. The health impacts of heat waves generally include dehydration, heat cramps, heat exhaustion, and/or heat stroke. Recently, the United Nations World Water Development Report 2025 was released. This edition emphasizes the crucial role of mountain water, including alpine glaciers, in providing essential freshwater resources. Mountains are often referred to as the world's water towers due to their significant role in fresh water supply. They act as reservoirs and store vast amounts of water in the form of glaciers and ice. However, climate change is rapidly affecting the stability of glaciers and ice covers, making the flow of water increasingly erratic. Rising temperatures are causing glaciers to melt more quickly, reducing the seasonal availability of water. The rapid retreat of glaciers in major mountain ranges such as the Himalayas, Andes, and Alps has worsened the situation. It is noteworthy that the United Nations World Water Development Report is the UN Water's flagship report on water and sanitation issues. This report is released every year on World Water Day, 22nd March. The report focuses on a different theme each year. Notably, the theme for World Water Day 2025 is Glacier Preservation. Recently, the International Energy Agency, or the IEA, released the Global Energy Review 2025 report. According to it, extreme weather events, particularly high temperatures, have significantly impacted energy demand. This has led to a 20% increase in the demand for natural gas and electricity and an increase in coal usage in 2024. It is noteworthy that there are several reasons behind the growing use of electricity globally. These include increased demand for cooling due to extreme temperatures, rising consumption by industries, and the electrification of transportation. Notably, the industrial sector contributed around 40% to the total increase in electricity demand in 2024. Last year, electricity use in the industrial sector increased by approximately 4%, which is more than the increase seen in 2023. According to the report, the record high temperatures have led to an increase in 300 million tons of carbon dioxide globally. The International Energy Agency is an autonomous intergovernmental organization established after the oil crisis in 1974. Its goal is to promote energy security, stability, and clean energy. Its headquarters is in Paris, France. Recently, World Tuberculosis Day was celebrated on 24th March. This day is observed to raise awareness among people about the devastating health, social, and economic consequences of tuberculosis. It marks the discovery of the tuberculosis-causing bacteria by Dr. Robert Koch in the year 1882. The theme for World TB Day 2025 is Yes, We Can End TB. Commit, invest, and deliver. It is noteworthy that global efforts to eliminate TB have saved 79 million lives since 2000. However, it has not yet been completely eradicated. In 2023, around 10.8 million people were affected by TB worldwide. In India, 26% of the world's TB patients are located. Under the National TB Elimination Program, the Government of India aims to make India TB-free by 2025. It is important to note that tuberculosis or TB is a deadly infectious disease caused by the bacterium Mycobacterium tuberculosis. This bacterium primarily attacks the lungs, but it can also affect other parts of the body. It spreads through the coughs, sneezes, etc. of an infected person. It is noteworthy that to prevent tuberculosis, newborns are given the BCG vaccine. Recently, India has announced the first ever India-Africa naval exercise. This exercise will be conducted with the aim of enhancing cooperation with the continent and the Indian Ocean region. The name of this exercise is Africa-India Key Maritime Engagement, or IKME. In Sanskrit, it means unity. This exercise will be held with 10 African countries and will last for 6 days. It is noteworthy that this exercise has been initiated against the backdrop of the growing threat from Houthi rebels. This exercise will be jointly conducted by the Indian Navy and the Tanzania People's Defense Force. Countries participating in this exercise include Tanzania, Comoros, Djibouti, Eritrea, Kenya, Madagascar, Mauritius, Mozambique, Seychelles, and South Africa. The main objective of this exercise is to enhance security cooperation in the Indian Ocean region and to tackle the growing military presence of China, maritime piracy, and the threats posed by the Houthi rebels. It is noteworthy that India's other collaboration initiative with Africa is the Indian Ocean ship IOS Sagar. Under this, the offshore patrol vessel INS Sunena will be deployed in the Southwest Indian Ocean region from 5th April to 8th May. INS Sunena will visit the ports of Dar es Salaam, Nakala, Port Louis, Port Victoria, and Malé. Additionally, this ship will also jointly monitor the exclusive economic zones of Tanzania, Mozambique, Mauritius, and Seychelles. Recently, former Cabinet Secretary Rajiv Gauba has been appointed as a full-time member of Niti Aayog. Rajiv Gauba is a 1982 batch IAS officer of the Jharkhand cadre. He served as the top bureaucrat of the country from 2019 to August 2024. Previously, Gauba has also worked as the Union Home Secretary, Secretary of the Ministry of Urban Development, and Chief Secretary of Jharkhand. It is important to note that Niti Aayog is an advisory institution set up by the Government of India. It was established in place of the Planning Commission. Cabinet proposal regarding this new institution was issued on 1st January 2015. This institution served as the government's think tank. The vision of Niti Aayog is to provide the Prime Minister and Chief Ministers with a national agenda framework. It is noteworthy that this is a non-constitutional body. The Prime Minister is the ex officio chairman of Niti Aayog. Currently, its Vice Chairman is Suman Berry and the Chief Executive Officer is BVR Subramaniam. Apart from the Chairman and Vice Chairman, there are 4 other ex officio members of this organization who are appointed by the Prime Minister. Additionally, there are some full-time and part-time members in this organization. Recently, the Saraswati Samman 2024 was announced. Sanskrit scholar Bhadresh Das will be honored with this award. It is worth mentioning that the renowned Sanskrit scholar Bhadresh Das will be awarded the prestigious Saraswati Samman 2024 for his book Swami Narayan Siddhanta Sudha in Sanskrit. Notably, Sadhu Bhadresh Das is an internationally acclaimed Sanskrit scholar and a monk of the Bochha Sanvasi Akshar Purushottam Swami Narayan Sanstha. He is widely recognized as a leading intellectual in Indian philosophy. He has made significant contributions to preserving and promoting India's traditional Vedic knowledge system in the modern era. Saraswati Samman is a prestigious award in the field of literature. This award is given by the K.K. Birla Foundation. It was established in 1991. This award is given for excellent literary work in any language listed in the 8th schedule of the Constitution. The award includes a citation, a plaque, and a cash prize of 15 lakh rupees. The selection of candidates for the award is done by a panel of scholars and former award winners. That's all for now in this bulletin. After the news, let's take a quick look at 5 questions related to the bulletin. Question 1. Consider the following statements regarding the salary of MPs. 1. The change in the salary of Parliament members is done under the powers conferred by the Salary, Allowances and Pension of Members of Parliament Act 1954. 2. The monthly salary of MPs has been increased from Rs 1 lakh to Rs 1,24,000. And 3. The daily allowance of MPs has been increased from Rs 2,000 to Rs 2,400. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only 1, B. Only 2, C. All 3, D. None of the above. Question 2. Consider the following statements with respect to World Tuberculosis Day. 1. World Tuberculosis Day is celebrated on 24th March. 2. This day is celebrated to raise awareness about tuberculosis among people. 3. The theme for World Tuberculosis Day 2025 is Yes, We Can End TB. Commit, Invest and Deliver. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only one. B. Only two. C. All three. D. None of these. Question 3. Consider the following statements with respect to the United Nations World Water Development Report. 1. This report is issued every year on World Earth Day. 2. This report focuses on a different theme each year. The United Nations World Water Development Report 2025 emphasizes the important role of groundwater. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only one. B. Only two. C. All three. And D. None of these. Question 4. Consider the following statements with respect to the International Energy Agency. 1. It was established after the oil crisis of 1974. 2. Its headquarters is in Paris, the capital of France. 3. It publishes the Global Energy Review Report. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only one. B. Only two. C. All three. And D. None of these. Question 5. Consider the following statements with respect to heat waves. 1. A heat wave is a period in which an area experiences unusually high temperatures. 2. A heat wave is declared when the maximum temperature in the plains exceeds 30 degrees Celsius. 3. The heat wave is declared in India by IMD. How many of the above statements are correct? A. Only one. B. Only two. C. All three. And D. None of these. Recently, Ashok Singh Thakur has been elected as the new chairman of INTAC at the annual general meeting of the Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage, or INTAC. It is worth mentioning that Ashok Singh Thakur's tenure as chairman will be for 3 years. The Indian National Trust for Art and Cultural Heritage, or the INTAC, is a prominent organization. Its objective is to protect, preserve and promote India's cultural heritage. It was established on 27 January 1984 and is registered under the Society Registration Act 1860. INTAC works to preserve Indian art, architecture, old buildings, monuments and other cultural properties. Recently, a bilateral exercise Varuna was conducted between India and France. This exercise was held from 19th to 22nd March off the coast of Goa. The aircraft carriers INS Vikrant and Charles de Gaulle were deployed for this exercise. The main objective of this exercise is to enhance combat readiness and strengthen joint tactical coordination. It is noteworthy that this exercise began in 1993 and was named Varuna in 2001. It is an annual exercise aimed at increasing interoperability and promoting peace, security and stability. According to recent news, the Uttar Pradesh government is set to create India's first night safari in Lucknow. This safari will be named Kukrail Night Safari and Adventure Park. The main objective of this project is to promote tourism and encourage wildlife conservation. This is India's first night safari inspired by Singapore. The project will be developed in 2 phases with a total budget of over Rs 1,500 crores. It will be developed on 855.07 acres or 34.59 lakh square meters of land in the Kukrail forest area. Recently, Vinod Kumar Shukla was awarded 59th Gyanpith Award. Vinod Kumar Shukla is a famous Hindi writer. His major novels include Naukar Ki Kameez and Khilega To Dekhenge. He is the 12th Hindi writer to receive this award and the first writer from Chhattisgarh. It is noteworthy that the Gyanpith Award is India's highest literary honor. The winner of this award receives a cash prize of Rs 11 lakh, a citation and a bronze statue of Vagdevi. This award is given for excellent writing in any language included in the 8th schedule of the Indian Constitution. Every year on 26 March, World Purple Day is celebrated. The aim of this day is to raise awareness about epilepsy and assist those suffering from this neurological disorder. This day encourages people to wear purple, share information, and participate in various programs to increase understanding of epilepsy. It is worth mentioning that the first Purple Day for Epilepsy Awareness was celebrated on 26 March 2008. Epilepsy is a neurological disorder that affects millions of people in India. It causes recurrent seizures without any obvious cause. Recently, India has developed its first indigenous MRI machine. It will be installed at the All India Institute of Medical Sciences, AIIMS, New Delhi for testing by October. This step aims to reduce treatment costs and dependence on imported medical equipment. Currently, 80 to 85% of medical equipment is imported. The indigenous MRI machine will help make India more self-reliant in medical technology. MRI is a medical imaging technique used in radiology. MRI scanners use strong magnetic fields, magnetic field gradients, and radio waves to create images of organs in the body. Every year on 27th March, World Theatre Day is celebrated. This day is dedicated to highlighting the importance of theatre and reminding people of its social impact. The theme of World Theatre Day 2025 is Theatre and the Culture of Peace. This theme focuses on the role of theatre in promoting peace and understanding through performing arts. The aim of this day is to encourage people to enjoy various forms of theatre and recognize its cultural significance. Recently, Kerala became the first state to establish a Senior Citizens Commission. The Commission is a statutory body established under the Senior Citizens Commission Act 2025. It will protect the rights and welfare of senior citizens and act as an advisory body for policy making. This commission will formulate policies for the welfare of senior citizens and address issues related to neglect, abuse, exploitation, and loneliness among the elderly. It will be a statutory body committed to the overall well-being of senior citizens.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.